Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. I hope you're all doing well and everyone is relaxing, taking it easy. It is another jam-packed show, of course, with Manchester United news. You're never too far away from a new Man United news, of course. There's always news in regards to Man United every single day. I mean, obviously, not much news happened this weekend apart from Man United. Nothing else matters, does it? Apart from Man United, does it? At the end of the day, it's all about Man United today. All about Eric Ten Hag's future, of course. What's going on with Eric Ten Hag's future? What would you do? What is the solution in regards to Eric Ten Hag? I mean, who's going to change this culture at the football club? And it's not just about the manager here. It's about the players as well. What about players who are down tooling? What about players who are going out of challenges, who are not putting their foot in, who are not putting 100% in? What do you do in regards to that? You know, these things are things that have been going on for years and years at Manchester United. And how are we going to change this culture at the football club? It's not just about changing the manager. Do you honestly think that a new manager coming in is going to change our fortunes? Do you think we're going to challenge? Do you think we're going to move up the league? Do you think we're going to get in the top four with this squad? Especially if some of those players are down tooling and they're pulling out of challenges. So what do we do in regards to that? Guys, before I really start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you could do that, guys, absolutely brilliant. I'm on my way to 5,000. Thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. So at the end of the day, look, I just want to say it like this, right? Because I tend to see things from all different angles. I don't want to just say Ten Hag, bald fraud, peanut head. I don't want to do things like that, But the thing is, what I would say, yes, he's to blame for a lot of what happened. But in the opening minutes of the game against Tottenham yesterday, Man United showed characteristics that have been evident in the last 10 years that since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, which was down tooling, pulling out of challenges, not giving 100%, not running for the badge. Whether you like the tactics or you don't like the tactics, the most important thing is that you implement the amount of effort in your game. Regardless what the tactics are, you give 100%, no matter what. And I didn't see that from Man United at the weekend. Having reviewed everything, having looked over the game again, I just didn't see any effort there. I felt like Tottenham had more effort in regards to that, especially in the opening minutes when the centre-back, Van der Ven, run the length of the field like Ryan Giggs-esque, and then passed it to an open goal, where Dalot should be sprinting back to get back into position. Now, in regards to Dalot, yeah, he's not a left back. I said that. He's not a left footer, but nothing stops him sprinting back to try and get the challenge in. And this is what I would say in regards to that. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of problems at Man United, not just about where the manager is, what the manager does, what the tactics he picks, what team he picks. It's also to do with those players. And honestly, in your heart of hearts, no matter who we get in charge, do you honestly think this is going to get any better? Do you think we're going to get in the top four? Do you think we're going to challenge anytime soon? Nothing's going to change until the manager is given the authority to get rid of those fan favourites. Of course, I'm talking about Marcus Rashford. I'm talking about Bruno Fernandes. I'm talking about Leonardo Maguire. These players need to leave because they are an influence in the dressing room, and they do need to leave this football club, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of people out there who want Ten Hag out, but they don't have a solution. They say Zidane, but Zidane has openly said he doesn't want to come to Manchester United. He doesn't want to come to England. He never has. Even as a player, he didn't want to come to England. Maybe it just doesn't suit the style. Maybe he doesn't fancy the weather. I don't know. But Zinedine Zidane is not coming to England, guys. He's not going to come to Man United. So who will be the next in line if Eric Ten Hag does lose his job? Now, today, there were secret meetings held at Carrington in regards to Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag arrived early at Carrington and spoke to representatives of Ineos in regards to his future. Now, rumor is they're going to give him more time. Ineos are going to give him more time. What do you think of this? They're going to give him more time. In my opinion, that more time is probably after the international break, after the Villa game. We have an international break. During that break, decisions could be made if we don't win the next two games. Now, we have to win. The most important game, obviously, is Aston Villa game. But when you look at the Europa League now, it's got added significance now because we're not doing well in the league. So we're going to have to try our utmost to win that Europa League. But then you think about who's in that Europa League. And if we cannot beat Tottenham are in that Europa League. If we cannot implement ourselves and give a good account of ourselves against Spurs, how are we going to win that Europa League? Do you know what I mean? We're going to have to improve tenfold. We're having to improve a lot. at the end of the day. And for me, for this to happen, right, we have to be all on the same page. Now, I said in the early show, look, I don't want Ten Hag to get sacked. This is not what I want. I feel like give him more time. I said give him till Halloween, the 5 games. I did say that, and I do believe now, having calmed down a little bit, I do feel like he does need that 5 games to really show himself. Let's read some of your comments, guys. Good evening, guys. Good afternoon. How you all doing? Sorry, I'm falling behind. Kenny, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. So these 2 games won't matter. You know what's going to happen. It matters if he wins the both. We have to wait and see, of course. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, Sanjay. I feel this is the end of the road for my compatriot. It's looking that way, Sanjay. Looking that way. We wish him the best of luck, of course. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Kazi, my friend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up. Kazi is living in Holland, of course, guys. Yes, yes, I'm Dutch. Big up, everyone. Hi, Kazi. Yes. Big up, everyone. British Bangladeshi. Kazi's the biggest British Bangladeshi. Whitechapel, massive, of course. Big up Whitechapel and everyone in that area, of course. My neck of the woods. Dutch from Suriname, Indian descent. Big up, everyone. Kazi, yes. Daniel Billard, how you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing. I'd only sack him if it's for a better manager. Otherwise, it's a no-no. And this is the thing I would say, Daniel. This is the whole problem. A lot of people have their opinion about the manager. The manager should be sacked. But when you say, who do you want as manager? They're like, oh, Zidane. Have they ever felt that Zidane, doesn't want to come to Man United? Otherwise, he would be at Man United, wouldn't he? Because he's openly said he doesn't want to come to England. So we're not getting Zidane. Let's get that out of our heads straight away. Let's get that out of our heads. Good evening and afternoon, Sal, the legend, and all the legends in the chat. Thank you so much, Jim. How you doing, my friend? I hope you've had a fantastic day. Hope everything is good with you. I hope everything is good with you. And everything like that. I hope everything is good with you, my guys. And Jim, how you feeling, mate? Have you recovered from the game yesterday? I hope so. Absolutely. 61 likes, guys. Fantastic. Let's move it up. Let's get to 80 likes before the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much. Z, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you back. You was writing letters and say, mate, I didn't write no letters, Z. So please, Z, please get the facts straight before you come on my show. I was told to retweet something. I didn't write the letter. I wouldn't write a letter to Ineos. I have nothing to do with that letter at the end of the day. You can talk what you want about letters, regardless what it is. You know what I mean? You should thank me for being a pioneer of Man United fan base, because I've been supporting them 40 years and you've just come over around the corner at the end of the day and supporting people because of their culture. Do you know what I mean? And Sancho FC and all that. Guy, listen, pull your socks up. You know what I mean? When you come to my stream, make sure you get the facts straight, my friend. Make sure you get the facts straight. At the end of the day, I did not write no letter. And regardless if the letter was written, he deserved that time. He deserved that time. He won the FA Cup. He had mitigating circumstances. He deserved a few games at the beginning of this season. You know what I mean? Z without a photo, obviously. Big up everyone. Glory, glory, mate. United. Big up Brian. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is fine with you, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. He's a crap manager. Yeah. So your opinions, mate. Come on. More constructive, guys. More constructive education, man. Come on. See, why do you want division? I'm leaning towards Ten Hag out, but I would never call out names, attack the manager and person of the place. Do you know what? This is what I mean, Jim. This is what I'm talking about. Parts of the fans. They're not really fans, in my opinion. They don't have a right to support our football club, which is Man United. They don't. At the end of the day, all they are after is egotistical narratives that they hold on to, that, oh my goodness, you know, you wrote letters. At the end of the day, you letters, no letters. At the end of the day, if the next manager comes in and fouls, do you know what? What are you going to do? Are you going to come up to me and say, I was wrong about the manager? He fouled again. I was wrong to sack Erik ten Hag if he doesn't win 2 trophies in 2 years? Are you going to do that? Do you know what I mean? Absolutely spot on, Jim. Big up, Jim. Thank you so much, my friend. I joined Twitter today, in which we even got a speaker role, but it was too scared to speak most of the time because the chat was getting intense. I'm mostly considered of old men. I joined Twitter. Was Twitter VC today, in which I got a speaker role, and I was scared to speak about. Yeah, it is difficult, Sniper Man. I know that you sound younger than you are. To be honest with you, if I'm being honest with you, Sniper Man, you're 16 almost. You're 16 almost. You sound older. You know what I mean? They sound younger than you are. Guys. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just sorting out something. Guys, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You sound older than you are. Yeah, sorry, cooking. I'm cooking, and I don't want it to burn. Goodness me. Um, anyone but Eric? Absolutely. Well, you can have that opinion, of course, but it doesn't mean it's going to be right. It doesn't mean that it's going to work, does it? Do you know what I mean? At the moment, we've been 10 years with mediocrity at the end of the day, and some of those players on the pitch were not giving 100% at the weekend, and from this minute one, they were not giving 100%. Absolutely not, and that is what I worry about in regards to Eric Ten Hag going forward and those players, because those players have got a free ticket to down tool now, haven't they? So when we go into the game against Porto, if we lose that game, they're going to down tool. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for years, and that is lots of players on the pitch. I myself, and I said it a lot of times over the last few months, over the last year, we need to stop playing players who've been here from a long time. For a long time, I'm talking about 6, 7 years, 10 years under Van Gaal, under Mourinho, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Those players who played under those managers need to be out. Those players need to be out. And there is 7, 8 of those players that need to go ASAP. Dude, getting Ten Hag out will cost 17.5. Yes, 20 million, of course, because you're sacking him at the end of the day. Yeah. Sal, I really am torn. Jim, do you know what we do? What will be, Jim. And at the end of the day, we cannot prevent anything from happening, of course. You know what? If it happens, it happens. And I wish Eric Ten Hag the best of luck and we move on to the new manager. But one thing's for certain, right? I've got receipts. And if this manager doesn't produce, you know what? I'm going to remind all these people about, their stance and their insults and everything like that. Because at the end of the day, they don't have the intelligence to construct a legitimate argument in regards to the manager. They can't at the end because they get shut down. Big up, Brian. Big up, my friend. Smash lights. Thank you, Kazi. You legend. Thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you, mate, today, as usual, of course. Sniperman, I'm in down ML where I want Delta to go at the same time, but I don't want him getting successful at the end of a spell, but also I don't want any other bad manager. Sniperman, this is a very, very crucial point in regards to Ineos. There is rumors that Ineos are going to go after a coach. So not a manager, a coach. So what that means is that they're going to have a coach in charge of the tactical side of things, but anything else is going to be run by Ineos. So basically transfers, who should play, who shouldn't play, it's going to be run by Ineos. So we're going to have a completely different structure around us. What do you think of that kind of structure? Of course, it will be new, of course, guys. Absolutely. Southgate gets England to finals, maybe. Oh, my goodness me. Southgate, he's got generational talents there. No, Southgate, thank you very much. He's not the manager for Man United. Absolutely not. As an Englishman, I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm a bit more calmer. Jim, me too. Me too. Do you know what? You do get the odd people, the self-righteous people that, we're talking about basically letters and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Spread by that chubby chubs in Saeed, of course. He's the one who spread that stupidness that I had said it, I did it, and stuff like that, which I didn't. I wouldn't write something like that. I don't care less. To be honest, I have more important things in my life than writing letters to Ineos and things like that. It's a bit crazy, isn't it, at the end of the day? But those people, they're sad at the end of the day. They're ugly. That's what they do at the end of the day. And I can be insulting too. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're sad, they're single, they're ugly. That's what they are. And that is how I see it with them. And you can spread this to all of them because they are, at the end of the day, they are, you know what I mean, wanking into a fucking sock every night. That's what they do. Forget them. Right. Big up. Sal, so is it fair we get humiliated week in, week out for the sake we don't have entire replacement? Mate, because we're going to get humiliated again. If we get another replacement, then we're going to get humiliated again. And that guy's going to have a longer contract, isn't it? More money, etc. As I said, if there are managers available, and I've said the managers I would like, I mean, it has to be a manager who is competent. In regards to Emery and people like that, you know what? With basically Aston Villa, the shirt is a lot lighter than it is at Man United. Let's not get it twisted in regards to Man United and the expectations of Man United. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the expectations is completely different level to Aston Villa and teams, even Spurs. Do you know what I mean? At Man United, and the history weighs heavy on some of those players, of course. Maybe, no matter what it is, what we saw at the weekend is that a team that is not only void of confidence. I'm not saying they're going on the pitch, we're wanting to lose. I'm not saying that. At the end of the day, I think they're going on the pitch not believing they can win. And this is a big worry for me because they look like they just they gave up as soon as they went on the pitch, and Tottenham Hotspur had their number from the beginning, and this was the worry for me. This was the worry. And at the end of the day, I don't know if any manager can change that, Dark Row. If any manager can change that, we can get the only people we can get who's going to change it. Do you think that they're going to bring us up the league? Do you think they're going to help us challenge for titles? Look, at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen, Dark Row. Ruud van Nistelrooy may be taking charge of Manchester United. If the results don't go our way, they will be taking charge. He will be taking charge of Man United. My only worry is it going to be another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bounce? And we get a few weeks of good performances, and then suddenly we start losing again. And is Ruud van Nistelrooy the guy to take us out of a bad patch? You know what I mean? I really hope he is, because I'm a big fan of Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course. Fantastic player. One of the top 3 strikers in the world, I think, ever in the Premier League. And at the end of the day, look, if he gets charge of Man United, I'll be supporting him with everything. And I really hope that the fans don't turn on him too quickly, because it gets very, very toxic, doesn't it? It's me too, but it's a shame the old story. Lose drastically, be disappointed and angry next day. Yeah, absolutely. It is disappointing, guys. Absolutely agree. Sal, it can be angry at Man United as far as you, my brother, and all the chat in the love, respect and kindness. Big up, Jim. Big up, my friend. Big up. Your streams are like therapy. Thank you, Sanjay. I know that some people try and come in there and give it the large, but you know what, with their hidden profiles. But you know what, they get shut down from me, guys. They will. Absolutely will get shut down. So fans getting angry is just justified because of Ten Hag's tactical stupidity every game. So fans are getting angry, but you have to be constructive in your anger. Loose anger gets people in prison for life. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, loose anger is stupidity and lack of intelligence. When you have anger, you have to think of it clearly and you have to think of a plan. You're angry, it's not working. So what's the plan? What's the plan? And every time I seem to ask these guys, what's the plan then? What is the plan? Who do you want? They don't have an answer for it. At the end of the day, there's no point going, if you haven't got a plan. You know what I mean? What's going to happen? We sack the manager. What's going to happen? What goes on after that? Do you know what I mean? What's wrong with old men? Yeah, exactly, Brian. What is wrong with old men? I'm not old. He went on the Twitter X. I think it was stream thing. I've never been on there before myself. Also in Twitter Voice, they say that Ugarte was doing nothing in the third fouling. Ugarte was playing in a single pivot at the end of the day, so we cannot blame him too much. He was put under a lot of responsibility. Now, this is when you can blame Ten Hag, because we've been screaming out for a double pivot for a very long time. I feel like we need a double pivot in there. We cannot afford to leave one CDM in there. Now, I do believe that Bruno pushes too far forward, so it does leave us a little bit exposed in midfield. We need someone to come in there, whether we play 3 in the middle with Ugarte, Casemiro, Mainu, Ugarte, Casemiro, Eriksen, whatever we play, we need 3 in there to keep it solid, to keep the ball. If we do that, we wouldn't concede as many chances as we are doing, and we wouldn't concede as many goals as we are doing at the end of the day. So we need to change the tactics. That is one thing that needs to change, and it needs to change pretty drastically. I say against Porto, it needs to change pretty drastically, guys. Sniper and brother, at the end of the day, I cry my heart out when Manchester United lose. I deeply love this team. I know, Sniper, I know it is hard, but you have to understand it's just football. You know what I mean? And football changes. Things can change. You know what? We will be back. And you know what? With every single rainy day, there's a sunny day coming along at the end of the day. And when we do get our sunny day back, when we do get it back, it's going to be all the more sweeter, isn't it? It's going to be all the more brilliant when we do. It's going to feel better, isn't it? You know, so when we do get that back. Brian, they were very angry. Lots of people were angry. Lots of people screaming like a motorbike. Wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight, though. Ten Hag cannot excite neither players or fans. We need a manager who can lift everyone. Stop mentioning the cups. Ole was right. It can paint over issues, and the most egos that the manager's absolute not. Just because Ole didn't win a trophy, mate. At the end of the day, didn't Ole lose 6-1 to Spurs? Let's not go there, man, because at the end of the day, he's a big problem. He was a big part of the problem that we have right now, because he made those players relax. He made those players relax. He gave those players an easy ride. He gave those players an opportunity just to sit back and counter-attack and play that dead football. At the end of the day, Erik Ten Hag may not be the man, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as a manager, cannot talk. He cannot talk. And let's not compare that. It's like comparing a Datsun Sunny to a Ferrari, guys. Absolutely. So yeah, Sal, who are playing these players? Yes, by Sal, who is playing these players? And this is where I get in. We don't know what's going on behind the scene. Rumor is that some of these players have a stipulation in their contracts that they have to play a certain amount of games. They can't be substituted, things like that. And that's where I blame Erik ten Hag and Dark Road. That's where I do criticize the manager. But at the end of the day, do you honestly think that a new manager is going to come in and drop Rashford and Bruno? Don't be delusional. He's gonna have to play those players. I don't know whether it comes to the Glazers. I don't know where it comes from, but he's going to have to play those players. A new manager is going to come in, and you'll see Bruno and you'll see Rashford in that team. Believe it, you're going to see those players in that team. And what we're going to do, they're going to perform for the next few weeks and then down tool, because you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. They're going to do the same. You cannot change the spots on the leopard, as Roy Keane said. You cannot do it. It's going to happen. They're going to down tool, and this is the problem. Sniperman, they had like 200 speaker. My goodness me, Sniperman, you're brave. You're brave. Big up, Sniperman. Afternoon, Sal. What's up? What's up, Elite Baller? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling a lot better today, my friend. Obviously not. No, none of us are. I'm still Erik ten Hag until the end of the season. And Brian, you are a legend, mate. You are absolutely a legend. You know what? You are firm. You are Man United. That's what you are. Kazi, big up. Absolutely. Every day 10 stays, it costs money, no future. It's going to cost 17.5 million to remove Erik ten Hag, unfortunately. I would say story that we're going to give him until Sunday. He has got the backing. Ineos have said they're backing him. They're going to give him more time. But I generally think that we're calling their bluff. I think they're calling the bluff. And I feel like he will have until Sunday. And Sunday's the game that can make or break his tenure at Man United. He has to win the next two. He has to win the next two. But my biggest issue is we probably win the next two and lose to Brentford. That's the sort of team we are. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I worry about with Erik ten Hag going forward. Someone said, bring Tuchel. You know what? Do whatever you like. Bring whoever you want in. No one's going to change anything. Trust me. Trust me. We'll be here in a year's time saying the same thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Elite Baller, Assalamu alaikum, Dark Road, absolutely, big up. I saw some known YouTubers saying that really strong comments, and I don't like our manager dragged it through the dirt. Sal, you know who these people are. I don't want to give the old now. No, mate, I don't mind giving out the names of those clowns, you know what I mean? Those people who sit at home lonely, doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs and stuff like that. At the end of the day, they make up lies, they talk a lot of crap. At the end of the day, about me writing this letter and stuff like that, and they just need to pipe down themselves, do you know what I mean? Calm their tits a little bit, because at the end of the day, you know what? They're nobodies, and they're just it's talking crap at the end of the day. You know what? At the end of the day, when you look at them, how can you take someone's opinion seriously when they can't even take their cholesterol seriously? Do you know what I mean? They need to just duck out and leave me alone. Big up. Big up, Sal, in the chat boxes. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. You're very, very, very kind. Thank you. Good to see you back. Darko Salam, big up, Elite Baller. Stephanie, you need to get off that Sage channel too. Bro, I'm single. Sniper Man, you're young, mate. Come on. You're 16. What are you talking about being single? 65 likes. Big up, Stephanie. Big up. They mentioned some inhuman words. Powerful. You know what? They are inhuman people, ain't they? They're inhuman. They look inhuman anyway. They look like goblins. No swearing in the chat, peeps. Absolutely no swearing in the chat, guys. Brian, staying to the end of the season makes it more difficult for new managers. He will get less time at now. I said it now. Story. I mean, I'm not on for this sacking the manager business. I never have been on that sort of thing at the end of the day. But one thing I would say is that if they're going to make a change, they might as well make the change now, isn't it? They might as well do it now. If they're going to do it, just do it. Pull everyone out their misery. Let's do it, and let's see how it goes, of course. And I wish the new manager the best of luck. Do you know what I mean? Sniper Man, who's your favorite actress? So 100%. Big up, everyone. Darko, big up. Sniper Man, big up. Salam, cousin, big up, everyone. Brothers and sisters in the house. Big up, Steffi, getting there. I said, big up, everyone. Good day, Jim, my bro. Big up. Good day, mate. Struth, mate. Big up, Elite Baller. Huge congratulations, Sal, smashing 4K subscribers, 5K next. On the road to 5K, guys. I do not stop on the road. Thank you, Stephanie. It's all about the next is 5K. That's what I'm going for. Ultimately, I'm going for the big goals, of course, guys. We have to, at the end of the day, as a community, that's what we have to do. We have to aim high. And if you aim high, it's all a mindset. You will get to where you want to go if you have the correct mindset. Unfortunately, Man United don't have the correct mindset at the moment, and that is a big problem at a football club. Even though good, They deserve booing. Greetings, my bro, Elite Baller, get in the legend. Thank you so much. Guys, anyone, what do you think about Ole coming back? Not at all. No way, Sniper Man. Not a chance. I never believe in going back. Never, ever believe. Big up, Brian. Brian, are you live? Elite Baller, big up. Aru, they're part of this. Never go for the assistant. Yeah, well, you know what? Unless it's from another club. Obviously, Arteta was the assistant of Pep Guardiola at Man City, wasn't he? He was an assistant over there. Big up. Kazi Brian, big up everyone. Of course, legends in the chat, guys. Legends in the chat. Brian, you mean here? Yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. What's going on? I am feeling pretty positive for United. I'm not joking. What is funny is how the subject of Bruno gets danced around. What do you make of the red card, guys? Do you think it was a red card? I haven't spoken much about the red card, of course, because I don't think it would have made much difference to the game because the way we were playing awful. I don't think the red card would have made a difference, but you know what? I don't think it was a red card. I think it was an accident. But then again, when you're doing things like that on the football pitch, as a captain, you need to take responsibility and you shouldn't be giving the referee a decision to make. That is the biggest issue. And I blame Bruno for that. Big up, Elite. Big up, everyone. Big up, Steph. Yes. Big up, everyone. Big up all the guys here. Big up, everyone, guys. Big up. Looking forward to Bruno's ban. I don't think we will find the perfect solution, but I get to see some alternatives. Common Pence, you speak my language, my friend. Well said. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing who he plays. My opinion is he should start against Porto because obviously Bruno Fernandes can play against FC Porto on Thursday. But I wouldn't play him on Thursday. I wouldn't. I would play the team that's going to play against Aston Villa and get that team used to playing together. That's what I would do. Tuchel really won the Champions League with a one-hour performance on a COVID season, Sniper Man. On a COVID season, he won it. On a COVID season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came second on the COVID season. Do you know what I mean? It is a big difference. It's a big difference. Big up. Big up, everyone, of course. Common Pence, I think the biggest problem on the field right now is Bruno. I do believe that. I do believe since he's been back, since he came back, we haven't played well at all. Stevie, if Bruno and Rashford start together, you need to got a quadruple with big up. Yeah, that's true, Steph. Absolutely. Afternoon, Jamie. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I believe it's too complicated in for this mob. We need to go back to the low block, forget the playing out from the back, build a foundation and not conceding. Eric Ten Hag is adaptable at all. I do agree with that, Jamie. We need to start from basics. I do believe we need to start from basics, guys. Absolutely believe we should be starting from basics. And if that means that improving our defensive line, then so be it. And maybe we have to concentrate on building a structure, then going forward. Okay. Appreciate, thanks. Big up, everyone. Big up, Elite Baller, my friend. Big up, everyone. Jim Watkins, you're welcome, guys. Sal, it's Bruno who gets the midfield down. He either plays on the 8 or drop him because we have changed our mind how many times. But I think he is a big problem. I agree, Daniel. I think he is a big problem. And this is coming from a guy who was a big fan of Bruno. But you know what? We have to admit that he hasn't played for months and months and months in the level that we expect of him. Of course, he set his bar so high. When he came to Man United for 18 months, he set the bar very, very high. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, he hasn't reached that bar for a long, long time. And you know, we have to start admitting to ourselves that maybe he's just not that player anymore, and maybe we need to move on with him. Because at the end of the day, the problem with the Manchester United is we get very sentimental when it comes to these players. We get very, attached to these players, and we shouldn't be doing that. At the end of the day, if they're not good enough, they need to be moved on, in my opinion. And I don't think he's not effective enough where we want to go, guys. The players at United today are mostly Eric Ten Hag, Ole are mostly all gone now. There's still 7 players there, my friend, and it doesn't just mean that they're playing, that they're effective in the dressing room. We got Maguire, we got Lindelof, we got Dalot, yeah, we got who else? We got Ahmad, of course, we got him. Who else? We got Maguire, of course, as well. We got him as well. We got Luke Shaw, we got him as well. That's 6. Do you know what I mean? That I've just said to you right there, right now, of course, and Rashford, of course, guys. That's 7 players, very influential players there that are still at the football club. And it doesn't matter if they're playing or not. They are still a big influence within that environment, within the dressing room, guys. So at the end of the day, if Rashford especially and Shaw have been there for nearly 10 years, at the end of the day, they're going to be huge voices in that dressing room, whether they're playing, whether they're not playing on the training ground or not. There is multi-layered. There's more ways to skin a cat in this business, and there's more ways to disrupt the flow of a manager. And I do believe that all these players that there, even Lindelof, all these players need to go. Maguire, they need to be gone. Every single player that was there under Ole, under Jose, under Louis van Gaal needs to be gone, in my opinion, if we're going to move forward, whether that is with Ten Hag, whether that is with a new manager. Because no, Van Gaal's not a bad manager. Jose's not a bad manager. Ragnick's not a bad manager. Solskjaer's probably not a bad manager either, but that is 4 managers there that have had similar players, and the players have down-tooled. You know what I mean? We cannot accept it anymore, guys. Absolutely not. Daniel Billard, agree. Thank you so much, Daniel. Big up, Daniel. Big up, Brian. Of course, 66272. Big up, guys. Everyone, thank you so much, guys. So keep smashing the likes, guys. People have been coming here from the beginning. Elite Baller, I don't want to hate on Bruno. I've never been that a fan of something I have to live with till we find a replacement. Common Pence, yeah, you know what I mean. But you know what? We have to think what's best for the football club, in my opinion. We really do have to think what's best for the football club. Absolutely. Oli got us to 2-3 with good counter-attacking football is good football story. No, it is the big, you talk nonsense. And with that, less money and worse players. Less money, he spent 300 million. Are you talking rubbish, mate? He won no trophies. He played counter-attacking football. Counter-attacking football, mate. You think Man United are based around counter-attacking football? This is the reason that people like Rashford and people like Luke Shaw have it so easy, because they've been used to 3 years of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Get out of here, man. Come on, man. That's rubbish opinion. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, he didn't win anything. He's a bottler. He's a bottler at the end of the day. He played a very, very weak, Villarreal team in the final and got battered? Come on, man. Sal, seems according to you, there is no way up for us, so we will have the same mud for a very long time. No, until someone becomes available. That's what I said, Darkro. Darkro, selective picking things out of a sentence and trying to form your own sentence doesn't make sense, mate. At the end of the day, I said, look, I will take a new manager. And I said, if we're going to remove the manager now. But one thing I'm telling you right now, don't expect drastic change. Don't expect us to go challenging for the league or come in the top 4. Because it's not going to happen, my friend. It's not. At the end of the day, we're going to get whoever we get in there. It's going to be very, very difficult now for us to go to where we want to go. At the end of the day, Man United need to be challenging for the league. We're not going to do that this season, quite obviously. But next season, we need to be up there. We need to be up there. And I don't think right now, with these players right now in the dressing room, 7 of those players need to be gone. They need to be gone if we're going to move forward. We need to get away from the players that have been there for 10 years. We do. And even Bruno, we need to get away from. Another one. That's 8 players. Bruno's another one. I'm with Sal. Manager does take time to flick, but there's players that just can't adapt and approved abilities. I agree. Common Pence. Absolutely, I agree, my friend. We can put in many players, Bruno's position, Eriksen, Xerxes, Mount, and Mainu. Yeah, absolutely, elite baller. We said it. We've been talking a lot of times about, obviously, the number 10, of course, guys. We need to change the number 10, and we need to move on from that, guys. Daniel Bennett, correct. Those who are from rants and to tell those words from rants and tell you to tell the truth. Don't like these people or say they are toxic, prevention, childish, kids, immature. I don't follow them or watch them their live streams. I know they're useless, mate. They're idiots, man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Do you know what I mean? They'll get the comeuppance one day. Never a red. Big up, never. Who's never a red? It was a red. Okay. Oh, yeah. The red card. Yeah. I thought it was soft, but you know what? I think the referee rushed. He slipped. But one thing you got to do in regards to as a captain, you got to try your best to be smart and not fall for silliness, and not fall for silliness. I mean, Sal, they are pretentious, childish people. Yes, they are, Jim. Absolutely spot on. Yes, they are. 68 likes, United first European Cup, absolutely. People coming here, they want to talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that they're perfectly welcome to come on the stream, and I'll pick the bones from them, and I'll take them apart bit by bit about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, because I've got every single stat, every single thing in my head of what he done as a Man United manager, and Jose, and all that. So at the end of the day, let's not talk about failures. Let's talk about what's coming up in the future, guys. Darko, looking back at Ronaldo's statement when United was maybe he was right. A lot of these players are not ready. These players are not ready. He was right by a lot of things. You know what I mean? One thing I would say about Eric Ten Hag is that he should have kept he should have kept Cristiano Ronaldo there on some capacity. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer blamed Cristiano Ronaldo for things going pear-shaped, didn't they? Come on, man. At the end of the day, you got Cristiano Ronaldo as a proven winner there. At the end of the day, you know, it's silly. I mean, they use every single excuse from the book at the end of the day. Never a red card. Yeah, I don't think it was either. We played better 2 down with 10 men in the second half of the 30 minutes. My question is, would you have played better? We conceded more if Bruno been on the pitch. Darkro, you know what? Sliding doors, umbrella effect. Who knows? Who knows? I think law of averages, we probably would have played better, Darkro. I think we would have done. Absolutely. He starts well halfway down the Spurs leg. It doesn't matter if he slipped or not. He made the referee. Yeah, he made the referee make a decision. This is what we said yesterday. Don't make the referee make a decision. We all know that the referees don't like Man United. So we know that they're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the Spurs player. So at the end of the day, he shouldn't have done that. And he's a captain and he should know better, of course. And he let the team down yesterday. Let's be honest. Flaming girl, I love that. Absolutely, Jim. Absolutely. Ebola, big up, everyone. I'm okay, Jim, mate. Big up. That's the typical word used, my favorite Aussie. Big up, everyone, of course. Donald Fisher. Ebola, I love home and away. Oh, yeah, Donald Fisher. Big up, Donald Fisher, of course. Daniel Billiard, it was a Matic or McFred or it was Kaz and Ugarte, but no, Bruno, we've changed all of them, but no, not Bruno. It was Matic or it was McFred or it's Cass or it's Ugarte, Mainu, but no, it's Bruno. We've changed all of them, but no, not Bruno. We need to change Bruno. I get that, Daniel. We do need to change him now. We have dropped a lot of players, but we haven't dropped Bruno yet, have we? You know what I mean? We only dropped him against the Barnsley game, but he came on as a substitute, of course. Big up, everyone. Sal, I'm writing a letter to Zidane's wife, trying to convince her to bring her hubby to Manchester. Darkro, good luck, mate, with that. Best of luck with that, Darkro. Zidane's a stern character. He loves his Spain, don't he? In Italy, Zinedine Zidane, of course. He's never come to England. I love direct football. Can be effective. Frank excites me. You like the 10? Okay, mate. Counter-attacking football's League One football, mate. If you like League One football, then so be it. That's your standards, not mine. Big up. Elite ball, I believe Eric Ten Hag will go Ugarte just like destroyed Cameo. We lost 6-1, by the way, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer against Spurs. 6-1, by the way. Yeah. Keep smashing the light rates. Come on, guys. Keep smashing the lights. Keep subscribing, guys, if you can, guys. We may disagree. We may agree. But we keep it going, guys. We keep moving. Thanks, Sal. Some time ago, I unsubscribed from their channels. It's part of life. Sometimes you've got to distance yourself from bad people and choose good people in your life. And that is very true, Jim. Very true. And a very good move, my friend. Very good move. That is good. It is important to do that, of course. Really don't sorry for Ineos so far. Lots of lip service, but no about. Look, we have to give them a chance, Said. I know what you mean. You know what? If they're going to remove the manager, do you know what? I would say just do it sooner or later, Zaid. You know, I would say do it sooner or later and don't wait around for it. Do you know what I mean? Ollie, Frank, McKenna, excited managers get the smile and work out. Mate, we're not here. This is not the Teletubbies, mate. This is not Barney the dinosaur. We're not here to have smiles and happy faces and happy, lovey-dovey, fluffy clouds, unicorns. This is what Man United about. This is not what managers, this is not winners do. At the end of the day, we can have lovely, fluffy clouds and unicorns and teddy bears all you want. You can do that. But at the end of the day, this club needs ruthlessness. This club needs discipline. This club needs a mentality to move forward around with like Real Madrid do. We might as well play in a furry kit and fluffy kit. That's what we might as well do. And wear pink boots. That's what we should do, isn't it? According to you. And play lovely counter-attacking football, lovely softy. We're mates, we are. We go together. We go and play chess together. We do snakes and ladders. We go to each other's house and we watch EastEnders together. No, we're not on that. We need to be more disciplined, guys. So, you are the number one best YouTuber. I love you, brother, and I respect you from the heart. Bless you and your family. Thank you, Jim. Bless you and your family as well. Really appreciate you, my friend. You're an absolute legend. You see, comments like that is what makes it all worthwhile. Thank you, Jim. You legend. You think Ineos are talking to people? But of course, Zaid. I think they are. I do think they are. Of course, they spoke to people before the season started, so they're definitely going to be speaking to people now. One thing I would say is that, as long as they pick the right guy, knowledge is that they're going to pick a coach, so a coach, not a manager. So that means that the coach will be doing all the things on the training field, and picking the team, etc. But if people don't know, but in regards to players coming in, players coming out, and basically judging the players, it's going to be all down to Ineos and taking players out and telling the manager not to play that player, not to play that player. They're going to have more power, I believe, Ineos. This is going to play right into their hands. So what do you want them to do? Yeah, it's nothing they can do, Ellie. Absolutely. Mainly become major owners, to be honest. Absolutely. Annoying that there's getting all this attention when there's only 25%. Do you know what? You know what? This is a big issue that we're having, and I said this the other day. I said this today, actually, that the Glazers still sign the checks. The Glazers still have the power. They're 50% ownership, of course. Of course, 25%, 27% is, of course, a lot, but it doesn't give you the rights, of course, guys. Absolutely, elite baller, fluffy cows and unicorns. Let's play that type of football, shall we? Lovely, dovey football. They've Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and let's get smashed against Watford and Spurs on the way. Let's do it. Let's not care about it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ball all day long, guys. Absolutely. No discipline on the field now. Nope. Don't worry, story. I'm only joking with you, my friend. Zayed have bought in Football Expert to replace bankers. They have also implemented a good transfer policy and not overpaid like those bankers did. Absolutely, elite baller. And this is what we have to say. You know, one thing we take away from Erik ten Hag is that it's not his fault that we spent 600 million. But what we would say is that we should be doing a lot better with what money was spent. I think they are talking to Potter, Thomas Frank, because Tuchel wants to control. I know nothing about discipline. I know enough to spell discipline right, number one, and also nothing about discipline, mate. Okay, mate. Let me tell you a little story about me, my friend. I've done a lot in my life to be sitting here talking to you guys about football, right? At the end of the day, story. And when you talk about discipline, what's the most disciplined thing you've done in your life? If you run marathons, have you done that? Have you done that? Are you disciplined? Have you worked in a hospital with loads of people, with patients? Have you had to show discipline when someone's swearing at your mother? Have you had to show discipline when someone's spitting in your face? Have you showed discipline, story? Tell me about your discipline, because you know so much about discipline, my friend. Come on, tell me, story. You know, I'm all ears at the end of the day. Let's go. Agree, elite baller, but they are not effective as Ten Hag. Still the transfer control, absolutely. You have to give it a chance, side. I mean, this week is a very important week, of course. Sanjay, the group of players are rotten to the core, especially the older ones. I agree, Sanjay. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely. So remember the days when we could bop the ball about, spread it from one wing to the other, have patience in the build-up, and absolutely make common sense. Those were the days. Those were the days, weren't they? But that was a 4-4-2, wasn't it? And we had players, they were proven winners. We had proven winners in that team. We had Beckham on the right. We had Giggs on the left. We had Scholes. We had Keane, you know what I mean? Good old days, eh? Good old days. So, were you fine with Klopp hugging the players and showing affection? No, because he's disciplined and he's a proven winner. He's disciplined in the dressing room. At the end of the day, he shows hugs in regards to winning and influence. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shows hugs like, oh, you're good. Don't worry if you're losing. It's okay. Don't worry, we're just here to take part. It's to take part that counts. You can do it. It's not about winning trophies. It's not about that. Klopp goes, come on. That's what Klopp does. Come on, we can do this. Give me it. That's the difference between a hug and a hug. Okay? If you want to learn about the birds and the bees, guys, you can learn about that. There's a difference between a hug and a hug. You know what I mean? When someone's saying trophies are not important, you know, look, maybe the League Cup and the FA Cup are not as important as the Premier League and the Champions League. But by my, Sir Alex Ferguson kept his job because of the FA Cup. Let's not forget that. Think we are getting anything from the Porto and Villa? I don't know. Sorry, I think we're going to beat Porto. I think we won't beat Villa. One of the two. I think we're going to win one of them. I just got a feeling. I don't know why that feeling is coming from, Zaid. I don't know where it's coming from, but I just got a feeling. Zaid, all the transfers Ineos have made are future-proof. They will suit Ruud van Nistelrooy, for example, of any manager that comes in. You know what? If Ruud van Nistelrooy does take charge, elite baller, I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for it. And I wish him the best of luck. And do you think Mount starts at Eriksen against Villa? I would, Said. I would play not both of them. I will play three in the middle. I'll play a double pivot, and I'll play another Eriksen or Mainu. in that midfield, or Mount, one of them. But we need to tighten it up in that midfield area, of course. Ruben is a waste of time. No interest, do nothing. So we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. We could get lucky, and Ruben Nistel comes in, and it could be a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? We could get lucky at the end of the day. You never know what could happen, guys. So would you even know that? How would you even know that? Yeah, we don't know that. There could be a manager somewhere in the middle or somewhere else in the world who could be the guy who to take us to the promised land again, isn't it? What interim has been impactful? You could class Arteta as an interim. I would, because he was the backup for Pep Guardiola, wasn't he? He was the backup for Pep Guardiola. I think every single manager is an interim in some way, and at the end of the day, every manager that comes to Man United is on trial. The one thing I would say is that when you put an interim in charge, the problem is that when you have that element of uncertainty, that element of uncertainty, whether he's going to stay, whether he's not going to stay. This is the mistake I felt Ineos made in regards to Erik ten Hag, whether they should have kept him, whether they should have sacked him after the FA Cup final. They should have made the decision, no matter what the decision was, they should have made their decision. You know what I mean? And that's what they should have done. I have football training badges. Prove it, mate. Show me. You have football training badges. So do I. Doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. I've shown it football badges. Tell me about African football, man, from Hearts of Oak all the way up to Shrewsbury Town to Leyton Orient. I've been there. I've worked with these clubs, so you can't tell me anything about it, mate. Ole Gunnar Ragnick were ultimately a car crash. Yeah. The biggest problem that happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that they gave him the contract too early. That was the biggest problem that they had, and that is a constructive argument in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They gave him the contract too early, and after they gave him the contract, everyone down-tooled, of course, guys. Story needs a lecture from Sir Elite Baller. Forget important week. We don't want to have any more matches. Forget important week. We don't want to have any more matches, GK. We have to play these matches. We got Porto on Thursday. We have to get ready for it, guys. So I'm so worried since Ferguson retired. We have sacked 4 managers and we get into the 5th one now. If Erik ten Hag is sacked, get rid of the bad players and install a structure. Absolutely, Jim. Absolutely. Narrative stupids on an idiot. Story. Listen, I haven't insulted you once. You know what insulting represents? It shows a lack of intelligence, my friend. I know you. You've come on this stream before. You've come up with some good comments. You've come up with some bad comments. But when you call people stupid, an idiot, it just shows a lack of intelligence. So I don't take it seriously, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, you know what? You're just feeding into the narrative of the other fan cams out there who just abuse people and swear at people. They cannot conform a constructive argument. Big respect to you, Story. You have your opinion. You like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a legend. I was at the Champions League final in 1999 behind the goal when he scored at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, I was there. I know about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a legend. But sentiments are far away from what football is. Far away from what football is, right? And I can tell you, in regards to being an idiot, you know what I mean? I'm far from that. At the end of the day, if you want me to show being an idiot, if I'm an idiot, God knows what some of these other guys are. At the end of the day, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion, story. But please, my friend, don't come on with the insults. I don't insult anyone. I've never insulted anyone on this chat because I come out with a constructive argument. They come out with a constructive argument. We agree, we disagree. That's life at the end of the day. That's life. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. I'm wrong sometimes. You're wrong sometimes. I'm right sometimes. You're right sometimes. And that's how it should be at the end of the day. Don't get defensive. It's not about that. We're not children here. Klopp to Van Immersion, overrated, 1 title in 8 years. Yep. How do you know he will be interim? If Vanessa is respected more than Ten Hag, he will also have more of an idea of how to win and how to make the attacker better. Well, one thing I would say, Elite Baller, is that he's working with the attack right now. That's one thing I would say. And we have it as a balance. He's working with the attack right now. And we're not scoring goals. The only thing I would say about Erik ten Hag, about Ruud van Nistelrooy is that he will pick the right tactics, I believe. He won't leave us exposed like we've been exposed. Like me and you have been saying, Elite Baller, for the last few weeks. You know what I mean? About the double pivot and stuff like that. Was he really? Yes, he was. He won 2 trophies at PSV, I believe, wasn't it? Yeah. Sal, can you send a link for the last few minutes of your show? Yes, I can, my friend. Bear me a second. Let me just read these comments out. Mark Golbis said some wise words. Jim, Mark Golbis said some wise words referring to some Oli came in when he came on a big winning run, and a few months later players dropped. And so exactly. And that's when you need discipline. Absolutely. Afternoon, guys. Sorry I'm extremely late, but work is piling up. Big up, Grayo. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Go get Nagelsmann. I rate Nagelsmann, to be honest. Jargo, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Let me just put this in the chat. Elite Baller, there you go, my friend. What is 2 more losses, hey? Zaid, I know. I mean, Zaid, if they're going to change the manager, I would do it now. I said it. If it's in their head that they're going to change the manager, if he doesn't win the next 2 games, they might as well just change it now, because I don't think we're going to win the next 2 games, if I'm being totally honest. So they might as well do it now. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. You ever going to go on? I've been on Terrace, Zayed, loads of times. I've been on Football Terrace. I've been on there loads of times, my friend. I have. Terry's a friend of mine. I've been on there a few times. I've been on a lot of shows. Saeed's been on this show as well. A lot of people have been on my show. And you know what? Yeah, I had to shut him down when he came on. Story, cut it out, pal. Absolutely. Story, sir, how was your past? Allow Story, man. He's all right, man. Story's all right. Mate, much love to Story, by the way. I have nothing personal against you, mate. I didn't call you an idiot. You're not. At the end of the day, don't worry about it, mate. It's all right. We all want what's best for the football club, and that's why we're here talking about the football club, because we all want what's best for the football club, of course, guys. Absolutely. Let me just get my friend on, of course. Here we go. Yes. What's going on, Elite Baller, my friend? What's going on, bro?
How are you, my man? You good?
Well, you know what I mean. It's the others, I would say. What's going on, man?
Yeah. What I'd say to you, man, is you're well within your right to... Intelligence, right, is changing your opinion based on new facts that come to light. So if you don't have any confidence in what's going on, you have the right to change your mind, and you shouldn't be criticized for that.
Evidence.
Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying?
Because we're all geniuses in hindsight, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter if you no longer have faith in something, but you did before. Yeah, it's not a problem to be an optimist in life, right? If we had more optimists in the world, it'd be a better place. But yeah, you know, we can only say what we see with our eyes. I've been with you on the watch-alongs for the last 2 games, and what we've seen has been pretty much horrific. The lineups have been awful. We can never predict them ever, which shows that there's a problem, because if you and I more or less agree on the team that we should pick and it never happens, and you got to say, well, what does Ten Hag see that we don't? And it's not like he proves us wrong, because we're not winning.
Elite, what was your stance on Eric Ten Hag last season when everything was going on? Was you a Ten Hag in, or was you Ten Hag out? Obviously, we just got to know each other, obviously, this last few months, of course. What was you last season?
So I was, like you say many times, Sal, it's all about context. And last year, I've supported United for decades and decades, and I've never seen as many injuries as we had last year, ever. So that is a massive part of the context, right? So I give him benefit of the doubt for that, because you can't pick your best team, right? But now that excuse is not here anymore. So he should be picking his best team. And I don't care if Bruno's the captain or not. I don't care if Rashford's on 300 grand, whatever. If they're not doing the right thing during the game, get them out, put them on the bench, teach them a lesson. And then maybe when they come on a sub, they might make the right choices. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Do you know what? I just feel like Ineos are up to something now. I've been hearing rumors that, you know what, there was the pictures of Eric Ten Hag coming into the training ground today, very early. It was dark. And I heard that there were representatives of Ineos. He was meeting up with representatives of Ineos. I do believe that it's not good enough. And, you know, with Ineos, they're very low key.
Yeah.
Don't really talk, you know, but then they hit you with something, don't they? It's a bit like the transfers during the summer. They won't talk much, but then when they do something, they hit you with it. And then all of a sudden, you know, I mean, he's gone, you know. I think we're getting to the point of no return with Ten Hag now. I just feel like, I don't think he's going to win the next 2 games. I don't. So, my personal thing is just do it now. Do it now. Move it. Get Ruud van Nistelrooy in. Get a bit of a boost. We need the win against Porto. Who knows? We might beat Porto if we get Ruud van Nistelrooy in there. Do you know what I mean? We never know. Do you know what I mean? It'd be first game bounce. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like they just need to make the decision. Obviously, there were rumors that they're going to back him for now, give him more time. I think that's just a lie. I think that's a bluff. I think after the international break, if we don't get those results, he's going to be gone. Yeah.
So there's a difference between what Ineos say in public and what they say behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, because and that's what good leaders do. They don't air the dirty laundry, of course. So
exactly. So all these people who are panicking, going, "Oh, Ten Hag's never going to get sacked, mate." Just because he's signed a new deal does not mean that he can be not gone tomorrow. The same with Bruno. Just because he signed a new deal doesn't mean he can't be gone in January, right? Ineos are not stupid, yeah? You can tell by the transfer policy that they're planning for the future. And if they don't think that Ten Hag is the future and they don't think Bruno's the future, they will be gone at the most convenient time. It's simple as that, man.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I don't think they will come into a football club, spend $1 billion of their own money, assemble this A team, so to speak, and then absolutely do nothing. And just sit there and say, no, it's all right. We get on. We're going to be all right. I don't think they'll do that. There's too many voices in that camp. There's too many voices within that team that are talking to each other probably as we speak, in regards to Erik Ten Hag and saying this is not good enough. Because if we're doing it as fans and me as you who were supporting Ten Hag last season and understanding the mitigating circumstances, if we're doubting it like this, they're 100% doubting it as well. They're probably much worse than us because they're not fans,
Exactly.
So they're probably thinking this is not good enough.
And also, mate, they didn't even. He's not an Ineos manager. They'd never signed him, right? Everything really has changed at the club apart from a few things. So the few players who are still here from different managers, like your Brunos, Rashfords, Shaws, etc. But really, everything else has changed. And I don't personally think that they've got that much faith in him, because if they did, they would have given him a long-term contract, not just a 1-year extension or whatever it was. I can't even remember now.
Yeah, it was a 1-year extension on the year he already had, so 2 years altogether. Basically saying that you're on a trial. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they said. We'll see how it goes this season, basically. That's what it was. They did take their time with that. They did. I felt like they should have made their decision quicker, but obviously they checked the market and there wasn't a suitable manager there. I mean, which is fair enough. What do you make of them employing a coach as opposed to a manager, a coach to do all the stuff on the training field and stuff like that, but Ineos have power over the team selection and that? What do you make of that?
I prefer it because it means that you're not going to get stupid situations like now where we've got a manager who's too stubborn and he's picking the same players, regardless of how crap they've been, right? It's all got to be about, looking to the future. So I'm for that. I'm for that, because then what happens is, even if they don't like the coach and they get rid of him, the philosophy still remains there. And the philosophy, what they've done is implemented transfer regime of only buying players under 26, right? So that you've got plenty of time for them to play for you. And if it doesn't work out, you can still get resale value. Everything that they're doing in that sort of world, I agree with. So yeah, I would agree with employing a coach rather than a manager, because you're never going to get another Sir Alex. You're never going to get another one. So you might as well look to the future,
I agree. And I agree with the thing about them picking the team, because obviously you're going to get a number of people picking a team, not just one guy. And that obviously prevents favoritism as well, which is good, if they've got a bunch of people picking the team as opposed to just Ten Hag. Because Ten Hag, you know what? As much as I like Ten Hag, you know what? He's let me down. And the reason he's let me down is because he keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, if we're not coaches, we're not proper managers, we don't manage Man United. If we're saying double pivot, if we're saying drop Bruno, and he can't see it, then we got an issue here, because this is not the Dutch Eredivisie. You know what I mean? When their best teams are 10th in the league, and their best teams will get relegated in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Probably PSV apart and fine, or the rest of them will get relegated. This is not This is not the Eredivisie. You cannot play with one pivot, a single pivot. You cannot do that in the Premier League. You will get overrun. It's not 1995 anymore. Do you know what I mean? You will get overrun. People are learn. Teams are fitter. They're more athletic. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and plus we haven't got a Roy Keane. So Roy Keane was completely different anyway. So we cannot play it as a single pivot there. Mainu's not a defensive player. I've come to the conclusion he doesn't tackle. He's more of a creative player. He's more of an attacking midfielder. He's nothing like a defensive midfielder. So we can't call that a double pivot. I mean, the other game he was playing Eriksen and Mainu. I mean, if that's not risky, I mean, come on. I mean, that is too risky. That's too risky. And that ain't only risky, that's naive. You know,
do you know what it's like? It's like he thinks that we're Barcelona and that you can have Busquets as the holding midfielder and then two out-and-out attacking midfielders in Xavi and Iniesta. We're not at that point, I'm afraid. We don't have a team that good. So we can't do that. So we've got to make up for our deficiencies by making the midfield solid with Casemiro and Ugarte, and then whoever you feel can do the job as a 10, right? We've got so many options. And that's why these Bruno stands are getting on my nerves, because they go, oh, if Bruno doesn't play, you see how much we miss him. I don't agree with that statement whatsoever. He's been a detriment to this team all season. He wasted a chance right at the end of the 20 game to get glory for himself by shooting from a stupid angle. Then the next game he gets sent off in the first half against Spurs. I mean, if that isn't killing your team, then I don't know what else to say, guys.
He missed a hat-trick of chances against Fulham. It could have cost us in that game. He missed a couple of chances against Brighton as well, which obviously... he does the hero ball too many times. Let's be real, right? Let's be totally honest with you. I don't like to stat pad because I think it was Ricky of United Stand. He said that if you take away his penalties, his record is very, very average in regards to goal scoring and stuff. So he hasn't performed since his first 18 months, in my opinion. His first 18 months were brilliant. I agree. But and he hasn't performed since then. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. I think Rashford needs to be dropped as well. I think I've had enough with Rashford. You know, to be honest, I think we need to sell him. I do. I honestly think we need to move on for all those players that have been there for the last 10 years or so. I think we need to move on from those players and just completely start a new era, and get rid of Shaw, get rid of all these players, get rid of Maguire, Lindelof, all these players. Just get rid of them and start again, because as much as they don't play, there's still influences within the dressing room, and they've still got big voices. They're still on the training field. You know, we don't need that anymore. We need to start again from scratch, and we need to get rid of all these players, in my opinion. Rashford is extremely overrated, in my opinion. I feel like he hasn't progressed as much as I thought he would. He does have the odd good season. I knew that little flash in the pan against Barnsley was just going to be a flash in the pan, precisely that. You know, and I knew it. And he has. Let's be honest with yourself. Let's be honest. Has he improved since he made his debut? He would say no. He's regressed.
I'd say he was better back then. I say he was better back then. He
scored headers. He used to take on his man.
Yeah,
he was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nowadays, he just looks lazy, lethargic, jogging, pulling out of challenges. And one thing, you know, what you cannot blame Ten Hag is players pulling out of challenges, players not giving their all and putting their foot in and giving 100%. And that's one thing I cannot take, regardless what the tactics, what team you pick. If you can't give 100%, you shouldn't be playing for Man United. For me. But
then what would Sir Alex do with Rashford and Bruno? You know that he dropped them. You know he would have dropped them a long time ago. It wouldn't. It's not even a question.
There would be no Rashford. Rashford would have been loaned out probably and sold eventually. It would have been gone. We've sold legends. You know what I mean? Yeah. Legends, winners.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We've lost Ince, Kelskis, Beckham, Hughes. I mean, the list goes on, and people are saying, oh, you can't get rid of Bruno, otherwise the club will be finished. He's our chance creator. Mate, he's not creating anything apart from drama and headaches and stress.
I think I think he's a little bit egotistical as well. I think he believes his own hype, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's got a chip on his shoulder, bruv. He's got a chip on his shoulder where he feels that he's got to be the main man. Some people would even call it short man syndrome, you know, where they feel like they've got to prove themselves all the time. But in terms of our fullbacks, mate, I thought they were appalling yesterday. They both got yellow cards. I don't know what they're actually bringing to this team right now. I would scrap fullbacks and I'd play with 3 at the back, flood the midfield and have 2 strikers up front. That was my lineup, right? Because these fullbacks, they're not creating chances. all they're doing is just getting stupid yellow cards and making it so they can't tackle for the rest of the game. So I don't know what they're bringing to this team right now.
I don't. And fullbacks throughout history of Man United have been one of our most important weapons in regards to success. Overlapping runs, Dennis Irwin, Patrice Evra, of course, Gary Neville. And there used to be relationships on the wings. We used to play the 4-4-2, of course. So we used to have relationships on the wings between Gary Neville and David Beckham. And then obviously Ryan Giggs and Dennis Irwin. And later on, it was Patrice Evra and Ryan Giggs, of course, and Cristiano Ronaldo. We used to have that relationship. Nowadays, we don't have that. It doesn't exist. We don't have overlapping runs. We have two fullbacks who are out of position and just cause more havoc than necessary. They leave us exposed at the back. I mean, Dalot especially, I would say. Dalot has been absolutely appalling recently. I know he's not a left footer, but you know what? You don't need a left or right foot to track back and run back and try and get your man. You don't need a right or left foot. You just need to go there and show some effort at the end of the day. I don't think he's that guy at the end of the day. If you ask AC Milan about Dalot, they'll tell you when he was on loan, he wasn't great. Otherwise they would have signed him because we didn't want him back then. But in regards to the fullbacks, you know what? If they're not going to do their job, if they're not going to overlap, if they're not going to cross, if they're not going to assist, what's the point of having them at the end of the day? I agree. And just flood the midfield, as you said.
Yeah,
do something different.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying about Ruud van Nistelrooy, mate, because just imagine this, right? Say he takes over. He has played in some of the best teams that Man United have ever had, right? With flying wingers, right? With prolific strikers and a solid midfield. If I was Ruud van Nistelrooy, I'd come in and I'd rip that team to shreds and I would just change the formation completely. Because I hate this 4-3-3 with inverted wingers where they always have to take players on to get a shot. I hate it. They're not crossing the ball into the box enough. And another thing that's annoying me, bro, is Højlund, is not getting a start in any of these games. We're not scoring any goals, but yet our only striker is on the bench. And then as a result, Xerxes is getting criticised even though he's not a striker. It's just yet another stupid decision by our manager, mate.
And we know that Xerxes needs to play behind Rasmus. We know it's going to work.
You said it,
we know it's never going to happen under Ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? This is why I'm a big advocate for the people say football's a very simple game. If you get crosses into that box, you cause havoc. Man United used to be famous for crossing balls into the box. And that's what we used to do, because when you cross a ball into the box, no matter if it's 4-3-3, 4-4-2, it causes havoc in the defense. It's the hardest thing to defend against. And I was a defender. I wasn't a high level, but it's the hardest thing to defend against. And when you're crossing balls into the box quickly, and we don't do that anymore. And we don't do that anymore. And the problem is we're taking out a big part of who we were. We're cutting in, shooting. It's very easy to defend against inverted wingers because you can get them on the outside. It'll just end up being a throw in. They can't cross with their left foot or the right foot because they're on the wrong side. They have to cut in and shoot. And you know what they're going to do. You read it like a book. When you're running on the outside, and especially if you have good, capable, competent wing backs, I mean, they can be the decoy, running past, creating some space, and then you can pass it in, and they can cut in, and then you know what, you can work your way around with proper wingers with the correct foot. You know what I mean? Left foot on the left. Right foot on the right. That's what they should be doing. Man United never believed in inverted wingers. In fact, we used to enjoy playing against it under Sir Alex Ferguson. We used to love it, playing against inverted wingers under Sir Alex Ferguson. And we never used to play the 4-3-3. And people think this 4-3-3 is a new thing. People were doing it in Europe in the 90s, mate. They were doing it in the 90s, and we never played it. Why? Didn't we play it? Because it's narrow. It's narrow, and you don't get any joy. Like you end up having one player up front. One striker up front because you've got two wingers who are inverted, who are only concentrated on shooting, especially our ones. Do you know what I mean?
And this is what we said, didn't we? We said we're not getting enough people into the box, and it still remains the same. And what's crazy to me, and we touched on it yesterday, is that we actually looked better without Bruno on the pitch and without another player. Yeah, we were actually creating some chances, and people will say Spurs gave up. No, they didn't give up. Right? We just looked better because we got people who actually want to keep the ball and not just waste it. So that's it. That's a sad indictment that without your captain, you look like a better team. So what would you pick for the team against Porto, mate?
My team would be completely different to what it is. I mean, number one, I'll drop Rashford and Bruno. I would. I feel like we have to stop being so predictable here and we have to think about controlling the game. And by controlling the game, we need to put more bodies in midfield. You don't have to have pacey wingers. You don't. You know, if you don't, you can put the players in the midfield, and you can create from the midfield. I would play. My team would be. I'll play 3 in the middle. I will play Ugarte and Casemiro with Mainu. 3 players in the middle. I will play. How would I pull it? Do you know what? If I had my choice, I'll play 5 in the middle, in midfield with 1 up front. I would. Yeah. And the reason I'll do that is because with the 5 in the midfield, you can convert that into the 3 anyway. Because if you bring the 2 wingers forward, you can convert that, and you can even convert it into a 4 if you need a goal as well. So I'll play 5 in the middle, 4 at the back, 1 up front with Garnacho and Ahmed right and left. I will have them 2 bombing on, and we have 3 in the middle to control the game as well. So that's what I do. Sir Alex Ferguson did it. He played the 4-5-1 when he used to play in Europe, and it used to work. I think we should try it because 4-3-3, us against Porto. Porto play 4-3-3. We play 4-3-3. It's gonna be, you know, a nightmare. You know that in their home ground and stuff like that. So we need to try something different, and we need to dominate that midfield. You know.
He's going to play Bruno, though. I know it is. You know it. I know it. He's going to play him, even though he's suspended for the league matches. And like you said, and I agree with, you look for alternatives now. You got a plan for the next few games without Bruno. You might as well start against Porto. And it's not like, let's be honest, right? It's not like he deserves to start, does he? You know what I'm saying? But I just think he's going to pick exactly the same team. He might put Ahmad on instead of Garnacho, and that will be that, mate. And that is what's going to get him sacked, because he's just so stubborn and he doesn't look outside the box. He doesn't adapt his tactics to different teams or situations, mate. It's just so frustrating. I want to be able to back my manager, but when he does the same stupid shit every week and we can't predict the lineup, there's a big problem, mate. There's a big problem.
It is a big problem. And do you know what? This is what I'll say. You know, if we do end up losing to Porto, I think just pull the plug, call it quits, because that means he's not learning from his mistakes. You know what? We all make mistakes. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, managers make mistakes. Sir Alex Ferguson made mistakes at the end of the day. But when you don't learn from those mistakes, that's when it starts to become a bit worrying, because you're trying something over and over again. Insanity, isn't it? You know, you're trying the same thing at the end of the day. Where is the discipline? You know, where is the leadership from the manager saying, look, Bruno, you've been crap. You know, I mean, get on the bench. You're not playing. Simple as that. You know, I mean, you need to sit on the bench for a while. You've been rubbish. You're not. I don't see you playing as a captain anymore. You know what I mean? That's it. What happened to something like that? A bit of ruthlessness, a bit of that. I mean, that's what we need at the end of it. I don't care if they cry. I don't care if they go to the media. I don't care. You know, just you're not playing well. You're not playing. Simple as that. It's come to the point, bro. It's come to the point. I would rather get a player from the youth team than play Bruno.
Yeah,
you know
same here. Same here. I'd rather, let's say it was January, I'd get rid of sodding Bruno and I'd bring some unknown player who's young and hungry and just wants to do his best for the team and not make it all about him, because I'm telling you, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He hates being criticised. Do you know what annoyed me the other day when he mentioned about his new deal? He said, oh, I had plenty of offers on the table. There was some very interesting offers that I had. Mate, shut up. You're playing for Man United, the biggest team in the world. Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear that.
Is that what Bruno said?
Yes, mate. Yes.
Oh, my God. Do you know what? One thing I always refer to is not just about Manchester United, but it is about our history, you know, and where we came from, who we are, and how we became Manchester United. And these people need to take a long, sit in a dark room and watch some videotapes about Man United or DVDs, whatever, you know, and watch some YouTube videos about Man United. And I think that's what they need to do, because at the end of the day, disrespecting the club, we're not any club, you know, we're one of the greatest clubs in history. You know what I mean? And you're talking about, you're a guy who played for for Sporting Lisbon, mate. You know what I mean? You flopped at Sampdoria, mate. You know what I mean? You flopped in Italy, right? And you came to Man United. Man United gave you an opportunity. Yes, you were playing well for Sporting Lisbon, but you haven't played well for months and months, and you're still in the team. It's crazy.
It's not just crazy, it's wrong, mate, because it sends out such a bad message to everyone else. Imagine if I'm Eriksen, right, and I'm getting dropped, or Casemiro getting dropped, and Bruno gets to play every single game, regardless of what he does, I'm like, this is This is wrong. And I bet you any money, right, when Ruud van Nistelrooy had that conversation with Casemiro the other day against 20 towards the end of the game, I bet you they're saying something like, this is not going well. He picks the wrong team. He's not using the subs in the right way. I bet you that's what the conversation was. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ruud van Nistelrooy is a manager before the end of this year.
I think definitely the end of the year. I wouldn't even put it past the end of this month. You know what I mean? I think I said Halloween the other day. This whole bluff about supporting the manager, I think it's that dreaded vote of confidence. You know, the vote of confidence that they give. I think that's what it is. I think it's a dreaded vote of confidence, and he's under humongous pressure at the moment. Humongous pressure. But
sorry, one more thing, mate, because you're probably going to go now. But I personally think, like I said to you, they're never going to say what they truly feel in public. They just don't do that. They're businessmen. They're clever men, right? They're not going to say in public, oh, he's under immense pressure. He's only got 2 games. If he doesn't win these 2 games, he's out. They're never, ever going to say that. They will say the total opposite. And they have the right, because it's their club that they own, partly, to get rid of him when they want, regardless of what they said 2 weeks previous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? It'd be great if we get Ruud van Nistelrooy in and he's successful. You know, we don't know who's going to be successful at the end of the day. When Arteta took charge of Arsenal, I thought he was going to flop. You know, and at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to be that guy to take us back. You know, everyone's different. Ruud is a different person to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know what I mean? He's a completely different person. He's more ambitious. Do you know what I mean? And he's played for Real Madrid. He's played around Europe. He's managed in PSV. You know, I'll go for Ruud and we see how it goes. You know what I mean? But you know what I would do if it was me, just to cut out the toxicity, I'll just do it already. Just do it quickly and just do it now. You know, there's no point waiting because I think I've seen enough. In my opinion, I've seen enough, and I don't think it's going to change. I really don't think it's going to change. We know.
The last 2 games have shown us exactly what we feared, which is the manager's too stubborn for his own good, and it's going to end up killing his career. And if we're not careful, it will destroy our season. So like you said, the quicker, the better if it's going to happen, mate.
Nice one, Ali. Thank you so much for joining me as usual, my friend. Thank you, bro.
Pleasure, bro. You take care, man. And I'll speak to you soon, brother, yeah?
Speak to you soon. Take it easy, bro. Peace. Yes, that was Elite Baller. Thank you so much, Elite Baller, for joining me. Great to have him. Grayo, thank you so much. Story. He's been on my show before. I don't know what's wrong with him today. He went a bit aggy. I don't know why. Jim Watkins, thank you, Grayo, though, for looking out for the channel. Thank you, mate. Kenny, we are in a really bad situation. Have you seen in such state in a lifetime? Yes, I've seen us come 11th, Lumen. I've seen us not win a title in 24 years. I've seen it. But this is close, Lumen. I would say this is getting close now. It's getting pretty toxic. So, and Jim, no worries, guys. We don't need this kind of fan in here. Just, I know it's just constructive argument. We can disagree, but it's all about constructive argument, guys. Absolutely. So if Ruud comes in, it's fine. I want a minimum mentality. Drop Bruno, drop Casemiro, or any player that does not perform. Yes, Jim, and this is the worry I have. Will he drop Bruno? Will he drop Rashford? This is what it is. Big up, everyone. Keep smashing the likes. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elite Baller. Subscribe if you're new. You legends. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me, guys. Really appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, of course. If nothing else breaks, of course, news could break. Anything can happen right now regards Man United. Lots is going on at the moment. So keep an eye out and keep the notifications on the videos and YouTube, of course, guys. And thank you all for your support. We're on the road to 5,000. Keep subscribing, guys. Keep smashing the like. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. If nothing else breaks, of course. Take it easy. Peace.